All right, you guys, welcome back to another edition of Tales of a King, but today we got Tales of a Queen featuring SB, aka Duchess Hope on Instagram. SB, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Not bad, not bad. Thank you for having us. It's a beautiful day here in Southern California. So now, SB, tell us a little about your riding background. You're not new to riding.
No, I have 9 years under my belt. I've been riding it for quite a while. I've ridden this bike everywhere. I've had 3 bikes. This is my 3rd bike, and I love it. It's a lifestyle, honestly.
So now, what did you learn on?
I started on a Rebel 250, a 2008 little bike. I did my course at San Diego Harley, and that's where I started.
Nice. And then you gradually moved up, or?
Yeah, well, kind of gradually. I went from a 250 up to a Yamaha Virago 1100. So that's a big jump from a 250 to 1100.
Right. Did you feel like you were ready? I mean, did you feel you needed more, or you were just more bike, more power, or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. At that point, I should have just gone a bagger or something. But I actually saw the Sportster, and I was like immediately, intrigued by the slim design. I told myself one day I'm gonna get that bike. And so once I ended up selling the Virago, later on I got the Sportster, the 1200.
No, you've ridden the Sportster all over.
Yes, I have.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I mean, when I first got the Sportster, it was only 7 miles on it, and now it's close to 27,500 miles. So I put a lot of miles on this bike. I've ridden it to Utah, to Arizona, to Colorado. Surprisingly, I still have my stock seat on it. A lot of people tell me that I'm crazy for riding a Sportster out of state, but I mean, it works for me.
Right.
She's been doing very well, holds my luggage, on the sissy bar, so I have no complaints about my bike.
Yeah, it works for you, so sometimes people will say, oh, you should get this, you should get that, but at the same time, it's if you're happy and you like the ride and you're okay with it, why?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, eventually I do want to get a bigger bike and ST, but I'm not going to get rid of my Sporty. That's for sure. I'm keeping my baby because they don't make the 1200s anymore, right? They came out with different models, but my Sportster is definitely going to stay in my life.
Now, how did you get into riding?
Yeah, so I mean, it was 2016 when I started riding. At the time I was single, and it was a Valentine's Day weekend. And I told myself, you know what, I don't need a Valentine's. I'm gonna do something different out of my comfort zone. I signed up for an all-female class. Coincidentally, today is International Female Ride Day.
Oh, really?
So I feel pretty honored to be able to do this. And, it's a very empowering experience for me. So first off, thank you.
Yes.
And then, so I signed up for that class. It was awesome. I met some incredible ladies who were inspired to just get on a motorcycle and take the course. That same weekend, I ended up buying the Honda Rebel 250, and I showed a picture to my instructor, and he's like, so you bought the motorcycle, but you haven't even passed the class yet. And I looked at him, and I'm like, that's because I am going to pass the class.
And you never ridden before that?
No, I didn't ride before that. So I bought it through a private seller. I had him drop it off at my apartment at the time. And still, again, I didn't know how to ride it. So I did the class, I learned how to ride. And by the time I was done, I was ready to go. That Tuesday, because it was President's Day that Monday, I went to the DMV, I did the written course, and I got my license.
Nice.
And I named the bike Valentina after, Valentine, Valentina.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Now, tell us a little bit about your Sportster here.
Yeah, so this is my baby here. And there's all kinds of things going on, but I'll start off with the gas tank. So a lot of people compliment the paint job, but it's actually a cover. So you can actually stick your finger right underneath, and you can feel like the felt.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So it protects the actual.
Yeah, correct. So it's kind of like a shoe, right? So when you're getting dressed and you're trying to fit your outfit on, you're thinking, man, I can't decide between the boot or the chancla, right? So for me, that's how I am when it comes to styling the bike, is I can't decide like how I want to style it. So
that is awesome.
It literally slips right
guys.
on. So this is the original paint job underneath.
So, I never even seen anything like this.
So Simon Custom makes them. I know there's a couple other brands that are doing something very similar. So they're definitely becoming a popular thing for people like me who are indecisive with the style of the bike.
Right.
So I have 2. I have this one and I have a red one. And eventually I'm gonna work on a 3rd one just to kind of change it up a little bit.
I mean, and then I didn't even pay attention, but you got black fenders, so anything you do with that cover is gonna
Exactly.
it's going to go.
Match.
Yeah, wow.
Exactly. So eventually what I do, I love gradient. As you can tell, it flushes from black to pink.
Right.
I definitely want to change the style of the bike later down the road. I want to do something gradient with the Memphis shades fairing and the windshield. Maybe do like black to pink, or just kind of touch on the bike in different areas just to kind of give it a different accent.
Right.
I've also done this Dremel. I don't know if you followed my story on my Instagram, but it's probably not the best job if you zoom in close, but
oh, it's all right.
I was still very proud of, putting that effort to create that diamond cut on it. Thank you.
So you did this yourself, right?
Yes, I did. And then my boyfriend also helped me, just kind of guided me on how to use the Dremel tool, and just kind of took it from there. I've always wanted that look on it, and the opportunity came, so we figured, okay, let's just get it done before Arizona Bike Week, and that's what ended up happening.
But with something like that, right, you don't got like engraving and all that, cool stuff, whatever, but that little bit just makes it pop. Like that little...
Yeah, it makes it stand out, right?
Little bit of diamond cut makes it just... Gives it that much more of an accent. It looks good.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I feel like it really complements the Arlen S air intake, just because it does have that like chrome black look to it, like that swirl. And originally, the intent of the bike was to kind of match the name Duchess, right? So the reason why I chose the word Duchess, I feel like if I use the word Queen, and no hate to anybody who uses the word Queen, I just felt a little pretentious, like naming myself a queen. But I feel like Duchess is kind of like the underdog in terms of like the royalty scene, right? When you think of titles, you think of princess, the queen, but no one really thinks about the Duchess, the Duke Duchess, right? So I wouldn't necessarily say I'm the underdog, but I do like to be like a supporter without having that responsibility of being the front and center of attention kind of thing.
Right.
So I'm constantly just trying to do my thing when it comes to riding or connecting with the community. I just try to ride with everybody, regardless if it's a sport bike, a Harley, or a cafe racer. If you're on a motorcycle and you just want to ride and just have a good time, that's what matters to me, You know
what? And just the last few years, well, not last few years, probably maybe 5+ years, is I used to be that, I'll say it, that guy, oh, you ride a Sportster, or you ride, as for men anyway. And you know what? It's not about that. It's about the ride.
Exactly.
Now it's like you said, I don't care what people ride. Hey, 2 wheels are 2 wheels. You want to roll? Let's go.
Yeah,
who am I to say this, that, or the other?
Right. And as the saying goes, people always say, "Oh, Sportster is a girl bike," And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, you could put a gender on a bike if you want, but at the end of the day, it's still a motorcycle.
Right.
It still has a motor. It still, takes you from A to B. And you're still part of the community, So, and I think that's the main idea, the main message behind riding motorcycles is just having fun, because it is, in a way, it's a privilege, it's a luxury to be able to get on a motorcycle and gain that sense of freedom that a lot of people kind of take for granted. So to be able to do that, it really is a blessing, and building those lifelong connections, I think, what makes it most rewarding as well.
What inspires you, or what inspired you to pick up riding motorcycles?
Yeah, I think growing up, I've always been kind of an adventurous spirit. Like I would climb trees, I would roll like on an oil barrel. My mom always thought that I was different. She said, oh, instead of playing with dolls or baking cookies, she always wants to be outside, playing outside. And growing up, I only had my other sibling. Even though I have other half siblings, the one I grew up with, my brother, he lived with us, and we were 10 years apart. And so during that time, we would always play outside together. We would, ride our bicycles. And when he turned 18, he ended up joining the military. So I didn't see him very often, especially when he left for boot camp.
Right.
I was young, so I didn't really understand it, what that meant, right, regarding the military. And when he would come and visit, he would always take me to the movies, and we would always catch up, play outside. So, he was like my best friend growing up. And then, unfortunately, with the military, he got deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan, and that's when things changed. when he came back from Iraq, I knew he wasn't the same. And he took me to Disneyland, and during the fireworks display, he completely zoned out. And again, I was young, I didn't understand what that meant. Later on, he took his life in 2008 from PTSD.
Sorry.
And I lost my best friend, right? But I know if he was still around, he would have ridden motorcycles. He would always paint cars. He was like a graphic designer. He was super creative. With me, he would always like dance and be goofy. So in a lot of ways, even though we're half siblings, like we share that bond, that personality trait where we're always out there, we're always goofing off. But I know that he would have wanted me to ride and be adventurous and continue that legacy and that spirit.
Right.
So wherever I go, I always talk to him. I said, hey, keep us safe, ride with us. He actually drew a phoenix when he was in high school. So eventually I actually want to get that embroidered on a motorcycle jacket.
Oh, nice.
So I kind of have that with me.
Right.
So, I kind of took on that role of taking care of my family now that my brother's not here, but also just kind of continuing his legacy and his spirit.
SB, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, no, thank you for having me. It's honestly been an honor to interview with you today, especially on International Female Rider Day.
There it is, guys. We hope you enjoyed this special edition of Tales of a Queen featuring SB, aka Duchess.Hope on Instagram. We'll talk to you soon. Queen life.
Stay blessed.
All right.
Peace sign.
You're supposed to pop in.
Okay, ready? This is on, yeah? Is this on?
Whatever, yeah.
Okay, ready? Wait, hold on, I gotta brace myself. Okay, great.
You start running on your bike, man. This is terrible.